Hello. I am joined today with Alfie and Toby. Alfie's on the floor, but Mr. Toby is sitting with me. And now that I'm talking about Toby, I'm sure Alfie is going to hop up here as well.
You're absolutely welcome. I'm happy to help. If anything
Okay.
else pops.
Girl, stop talking. Okay. Well, I knew it. Okay. Okay, dogs, we're gonna have to really figure this out here. Oh. Okay, this is really starting off well. But welcome to my first podcast. I don't know how to do these, so bear with me as I figure it out. I asked a bunch of you guys on Instagram what I should talk about, what you guys are interested in talking about, and I also asked what I should name my podcast, which is a big decision. And we have lots of options, lots of good options, lots of interesting options, to say the least. But let's go through those, and I want you guys to comment down below what you think I should name this podcast. I've had a lot of people say the Brungardians, but that's not my thing. That's been done already by my husband. Crazy. I'm a wife. That's crazy. We've been having a great time. So, I think my favorite podcast name that I've seen so far is Ella and Everything Else. It's great. I love that. I think that's like cute and clever. It sounds not like something that I've heard a bunch when it comes to other podcasts. Someone said Ellatainment, which is pretty funny. But I feel like I like just actual words, not necessarily a made up word, if that makes sense. So we're gonna keep thinking on it. Beyond the surface, that's kind of fun. I like scuba diving, if you can't tell by the majority of my tattoos on my body. But the Ella Diaries, someone said hello, it's Ella, which is kind of funny. That's like, but I feel like that would really trigger a British accent out of me every single time I start this podcast, and I don't think we want to hear that. I think we're really okay without that. So we don't need to sit around and listen to me go, hello, governor. Okay. Ooh, this one's cute too. All smiles with Smella. That's funny. Someone else said talking shit with Smella, which is really funny because like Smella sounds like it stinks, and so does shit or poop, you know? But we're gonna avoid the poop conversation on the podcast. And I think we should just dive right in to what people have been saying that I should talk about on here. There's a lot of people said stuff about weddings, like wedding planning, what we regret, what we wish we did more. A lot of other people said like confidence, how to be confident, how to be a confident person. I also had some people talk about like productivity. They want to hear me talk about productivity. And then just behind the scenes of like being a content creator. And then I think the other main thing was fertility and birth control and all the things. So these are all really solid topics, and I'm very excited to talk on here to all of you guys about these topics that I also care a lot about. So I'm very glad that we are all interested in the same things. I have my wine glass with Sprite in it tonight. We really don't drink unless it's like on the weekends or for like a dinner date together. So we don't really drink during the weekdays, but I do want my fun little like drink while I'm chatting with you guys. So we're gonna drink a Sprite out of a wine glass. Anywho, I feel like the main thing that I want to talk about today are just like overall content creation, being a content creator, the real life side of being online and being on social media. And the other thing I think I want to talk about is just like productivity and what I've learned recently with trying to be productive, because I have learned a lot recently, just trying to do too much, and I just like feel like I'm overworking myself, which is really funny because that kind of goes into the topic of content creation and what people view content creators as, which has really been like, I think the biggest do you guys see Alfie? I think the biggest learning lesson that I've found in content creation is just the way that people view other people that they watch. And I feel like since a lot of content creators, some people are pretty private with their personal lives, but I mean, me and Tanner, I think it's pretty obvious. We share so much stuff, so much of our real lives on social media. And I feel like because of that, some people feel entitled to really give their opinions on what they think is like better for the content creators, which is an interesting thing, because to a certain extent I like hearing people's, like, I love reading comments and I love talking to you guys, and I love like building a somewhat of like a friendship with everyone, because the reality is I would not have this job if it wasn't for every single person that came on here and supported me. And cough cough, James Charles, sorry. But I feel like because of that, I also get a lot of comments, which I guess we're also going to be touching base on fertility and stuff. But when I talk about, being excited to be a mom and having kids, and I would love to be a mom soon, and I've been trying to figure out fertility and all of those things, I've had so many people message me and say, why would you, like, you guys are just going to be idiots with kids. And I that also happens a lot whenever we get a new animal. I think it's just because I don't show the hours of research that I put into before I make a big decision, like getting an animal and all of that stuff, because it's just not entertaining. Like, also, what would I film about that? Like, I'm researching a time lapse of me researching. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel like that is worth the content. But since no one sees that, I think they just think that that I'm not like capable of it or something. And that's been like just a very interesting thing that I have learned. And the other main thing that I've learned is, I don't know, it is just crazy to me that anyone would find my life entertaining enough to come back every day and watch it. And it just blows my mind that is, I don't know, like, what makes my life different from someone else. I just feel very blessed and lucky that it just so happened to be my life that got put out there for people to see, and that I've just had a lot of great opportunities getting into the world of content creation and being, I hate the word influencer. I don't want to influence necessarily anyone. Like, I don't know. Influencer seems like kind of cocky in a sense, but I love being a content creator. And a question that I got asked on Instagram actually was, what did I study in college? And did it like help me choose the job that I chose, which is content creation? And somewhat, yeah. I have always loved video making and video editing. And I went into college originally studying criminology, law, and justice. And I lasted 1 semester with that. I love criminology and all of that stuff. But once I was studying it, I realized that I like watching it on shows, but I don't want to be that. It was a lot. We had to take so many extra classes that just did not make sense. And, well, to me, like, one of them was like journalism, and that is just right over my head. Not at all. Like, I could not grasp that. But once I decided that criminology, law, and justice was not my thing, I went as an open major, which just means that you're there getting your gen eds out of the way. And so I was doing that for a while. And then my last semester, I went for a year and a half, so 3 semesters. In my last semester, I chose videography. I like cinematography, basically. And it was just a passion of mine from the get-go. And then I realized as I was studying that I just felt like I was very behind, and that I didn't necessarily need to go to college for something like this. I would rather do the research on my own and learn through like hands-on learning, I guess, with a camera, figuring out all the f-stops and all the things that are on cameras. I just realized that I'm just a visual learner. I just have to learn myself and do the research myself. So I dropped out of college. Some people think that's a failure, but right as I dropped out of college is when I really enjoyed my life. So I'm going to take that as a success. I dropped out of college and I went I don't know what just came out of my mouth. But I dropped out of college and I wanted to open up my own small business, basically, where I just went around door to door knocking on businesses and saying, hey, I am a videographer. I would love to make a video for you guys, promote it on any social medias. You guys can have the rights to do whatever you want with it, whether that's put it on TV as a commercial or put it on your social medias. And when I was in my hometown, that was pretty easy because my parents are entrepreneurs. They're like very much in the business industry. And so I got a lot of job opportunities through that. I made a promotional video for a fair, like one town over from my hometown. And then shortly after that, I moved to Kansas with Tanner. And that's where I really was like lost for a second because I just had no idea what I was going to do. When I moved to Kansas, I kind of lost all of those job opportunities because I didn't have my parents here to help push out my name or whatever. And so I literally moved here and went into Wichita, which is the city that we live right next to. And I was just walking downtown, just going into businesses, asking them if there's any way they would let me do a promotional video. And I got 0 jobs. I bought nice clothes that made me look professional. I went in, I was confident, I had a business card, and I got 0 jobs. And I felt so defeated. And at the time, Tanner was, I was traveling around with him while he was filming YouTube videos. And so he like kind of hired me as his videographer for his YouTube videos. But then the YouTube videos kind of slowed down as he really started taking snaps seriously. And so I wasn't really getting many jobs with him either. And that's when I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm so lost. And so I went into Wichita one more time, went business to business. Can I make a video for you guys? And I got one person said, we'll think about it. But other than that, I had 0 jobs. And that person ended up saying no. And I just remember driving home and I was just crying in my car. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to figure this out, and starting to think that dropping out of college was a terrible idea and I should have just stayed. And and then I pulled into our driveway and I started praying to God, and I was just like, please just help me out. Like, I will do anything. At this point, it was like December, I think. I was just like sobbing. Like, I just felt so lost. I just moved to a new city. I had no friends. Tanner was the only person that I really knew here. And I was just super lost. And then I bought this is going to sound so weird, but I bought a like jumper, one piece, like, I don't know what you call it. I can't think of the word right now. It was just like a one piece, like a onesie thing, like a workout thing. And I posted it on TikTok, and I posted it with the TikTok shop link. And I loved the jumper thingy. It was super cute, and it made my butt look great. So win is win. I posted it with the link, and the brand reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we would love to like promote this, like push this video out. And it's a great video. And it was like, it randomly just started blowing up. And at the time I had like 100,000 followers on TikTok or something from 2019, when I made these like aesthetic videos or whatever, like back when like the aesthetic videos were like super popular. And so I had a following from that, and it made me eligible to put stuff on TikTok shop. And so I went along with that, and I was like, great, yeah, I'll try it. And then the brand reached out to me, and they're like, you're probably going to make like $1,000 from this one video. And I was like, what? Like, from you guys? Like, you guys are going to send it to me? Because I had no idea what TikTok shop was. Like, I just posted it with the link, just hoping that this, like, a company would see me and want to like do a brand deal or something. And they're like, no, like, TikTok will pay you. You get a commission for every time that you post a product with a link. And then it says like, creator earns commission on all of those videos. You will earn commission if people buy the product that you are making a video of. And I was like, this is awesome. I literally was just sobbing in my car, praying to God that I would have like any sort of opportunity coming up, because I was just so lost. And then it felt like I had like a little grasp at a job opportunity, which I really thought this was like it was going to be a one-time thing, and that it was pretty much like, here's a little bit of money, now go figure out something full-time. And so I posted a few more videos with this jumpsuit, that's the word that I've been looking for. I posted a couple more with this jumpsuit, and they all did relatively well. And that was I got my first paycheck January 1st of 2023. No, 2024. And so I did TikTok Shop the entire rest of the year, and it was a full-time job. I would get samples in the mail, but then I got to this like, okay, well, I don't want to post samples that I don't actually like. So if I didn't like the product, I wouldn't post the video, and that like lowers your rating as a creator to where you won't get approved for as many samples. So then I was having to buy stuff on TikTok Shop, and so that's when I started trying to promote my Snapchat, and as we know, I ended up getting monetized on Snapchat, and that's been my full-time job for a year and a half, uploading every single day, and I love that job. But as of recently, it feels like Snapchat has kind of become really oversaturated along with TikTok Shop, and so I've been trying to put as many job opportunities out there. So I'm going to be posting on YouTube. Now I'm making podcasts. I'll still be doing TikTok Shop and Snapchat, and then I'll also be uploading hopefully like Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels and all of that stuff. Just to put, is it an egg in each basket? Is that the saying? I really don't know. But along with that comes the topic of productivity and staying motivated. And, it's something that I still am struggling with. I try to seem super productive on like my Snapchat stories. But the reality is that every single day, I'm not every day I'm going to wake up super motivated, super pumped and ready and energized. No. And I go to bed every single night at 1 a.m. and I wake up at like 10:30 or 11 every single day. That is not a sleep schedule of a relatively productive person. I just get a lot done instead of it being 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. or whatever, my day is just kind of pushed back. But I mean, there's definitely days where I knock out as much content as I can in one day, like in the beginning of the day, just so I can spend the rest of the day doing absolutely nothing. And I will say that having to make entertaining content every single day definitely is a motivation, like to get up and film something and figure out something to do. And so, I mean, yeah, that is motivating. It's just like getting up and going to a job, except instead of going to a location, I just come up with random things that I can Snapchat. So that's kind of the reality is with productivity, it's not going to be a constant. You're going to have days where you just want to lay down, and that's okay. That's probably a sign from your body that you do need rest. What's not okay is doing that every single day, because that's when you fall into depression and then you get super behind. I think the main thing that has taught me to stay motivated is to stay caught up as much as I can. There are still so many things that I procrastinate, and like my taxes every year, girl, you best bet that I will be waiting until December. That's also a lie. I will be waiting till literally March when taxes are due in April, and I will sit there and have to fill out all of my taxes for the entire year because it's something that I procrastinate. And I mean, that's just one of those things. I'm good at keeping up with cleaning the house, but I procrastinate my laundry. I just pressed rewash on the damn washer right before filming this video. I have not touched any of my taxes for the entire year. We just organized our storage room today, and there has been so many, there's so many things in that storage room that like I don't even want to talk about. Like it was disgusting. It was genuinely disgusting. The storage room downstairs was just something that I never went into. It was just an abyss. And today we really buckled down and threw out so much crap. And one of the boxes on the top shelf, Tanner pulled it off the top shelf, and Deebs had gone up there at some point, which don't know how in the world he got up there, because we don't let Deebs in the basement because he'll scratch up our couches and stuff. And so I don't know how he got into the storage room, but at one point he did, and threw up a hairball on one of the boxes, and Tanner pulled it down today to go through it, and it had literal mold growing on the hairball. Pardon me? Excuse me? What do you mean? It was like, I thought it was an animal at first that had died on the box, but it was literally moldy hairball. So that's really disturbing. Let's go back onto Instagram and see what else people wanted to hear about. Ooh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was confidence. Confidence is so fake, okay? No one can convince me that there is a single person on planet Earth that looks at themselves every single waking second of the day and is like, damn, I look good. No. That is so not right. And it's impossible. When you look at yourself, it is so much easier for you to notice on yourself than you would on other people. And to be honest, your features might look the exact same on someone else, and you would think that they look good, but then you see them on yourself and you don't think that they look good. Like body shapes, body figures, facial features, any of that stuff, you could see your exact same feature on someone else and you'd probably think that they look good. And also, I think the reason why I got a lot of comments on my Instagram poll asking about how to be a confident person, I think the reason why I got asked that so much is because I come across as a confident person online, but the reality is I still have plenty of moments where I do not feel confident, and there's also plenty of times where I will post an Instagram story, or not an Instagram story, an Instagram post, a Snapchat story, any of that stuff, and I will retake the photo 10 times. Like, it's just not realistic to look at someone online and think that they're perfect in every angle. No. There's been plenty of times where I literally will swipe up on Tanner's story. I have to watch his story every single day because that man does me dirty sometimes, okay? And I will be like, delete that photo of me. What are you talking about? Why would you ever post that? One of them was of me sitting in the front yard tanning in a chair, and I was like slouched down, and I was like, what the actual is that what I look like? Is that what I look like? Because if so, like, that is just not okay. I was like, take that photo down. And he used that photo as clickbait too. He posted it in the middle of his story, making fun of the fact that I was sitting on a chair in the front yard when we had like a pond or something in the back. And then he used it as clickbait. Oh, he was like, you look good. I was like, that's getting taken down right now because that is the worst photo of me that I have ever seen in my entire life. So, yeah, the reality is confidence is not consistent. Literally, I got a nose job. Like, what are you talking about? I got a nose job. I hated my nose. I thought I had a big fat schnoz. But that's okay. But, I mean, I feel confident in my nose most of the time now. There are still photos of my nose, though. Literally had it surgically changed to how I want it to look, which granted, I was getting a my deviated septum fixed at the same time. So it wasn't just fully to fix my nose, but even after I had my nose surgically constructed to look the way I want it to, there are so many photos of my nose still to this day where I'm like, oh my God, I still don't like it. Like, I do like it. But not every photo is going to be a good photo. Not every photo is going to be from the right angle, the right lighting. And half the time, you don't actually look like you see in your photos. I mean, how many times do you pick up your phone, go to take a photo in the mirror, and you don't look anything like what you're seeing in the mirror in your photo? That's like real life too. If someone is taking a photo or video of you walking in front of them, you probably don't actually look like that. So just don't even worry about it. Life is too short to freaking worry about stuff like that. And I think you just have to remember that there are so many people that would give so much to have so many of your features. So just try to stop nitpicking the little ones that realistically no one is going to care about. Besides you, you're probably the only person that notices it. Let's see what other people have asked. Someone said, weren't you just talking about how much you have on your plate? Yeah, but that's okay. I like to add more to my plate. I also got asked a few times if life slows down after getting married. No. If anything, it has picked right up. It feels like it's gotten even more chaotic. Wedding planning was very stressful. I think I'm going to have to do, I want to have maybe my next podcast episode, I want to have Tanner on here and talk about the married life and how that's going. So I'm going to save all of the wedding talk for that podcast episode because I think that would be so much more interesting, because I also think you guys would love to hear his take on things as well. But wedding planning was very chaotic and very stressful, but life feels pretty much the same after being married. And there's like a respect level. I definitely have a lot more respect for him now that he is like legally my family. Like I share the same last name as this man now. And so I view him more like family. Like I don't feel like I'm not a girlfriend anymore. I'm a wife. So that's that. But life does just kind of bounce back to how it was right before you got married as well. Like, we're talking about taking on different jobs and all the things. Like, he's going to start posting on YouTube again. I'm going to start posting on YouTube, podcasts, all the things. It just kind of has gone right back to how it was. And if anything, we're just moving past the wedding day and just getting back into the swing of things. So I think life has actually kind of picked up to be a little bit quicker since getting married. There was something that I wanted to talk about on here. It was related to this question, and it said the nature of social media in relation to owning a small business. And I can't remember the exact point that I wanted to make, and I think this is going to be the last thing that I talk about on here, and then I'm going to upload a full extended version of this podcast, because I'm going to, once I'm done with this topic, I'm going to end the podcast for the YouTube viewers and make like a 10-minute extra extension for Patreon, and I'm going to do that with every podcast that I do. So if you want to see the extended version, hop over to Patreon and subscribe or join or whatever if you're not already. But if you want to watch the free version, that is totally fine too. Anyway, the relation between owning a small business and social media. I actually have knowledge in both of these subjects, not just from what I had talked about in the beginning of this, which was the like me and my videography journey and all of that stuff, but also because my parents have been business owners long before I was even born. My dad used to own a nightclub in my hometown, and then he owned that and a bar and grill courtside in Ottumwa, Iowa, if you ever are there. Okay, little promo. And so he opened that like I think I was 3 months old when they opened it. And so I have been in the like business industry, like small business industry, I guess, since I was literally born, and I have seen everything. So I love this question because it really, like, from it all, I've learned a lot. And I think in the way that they are related is just that you do kind of live in is it like a microscope? I don't know. Like, it feels like people really view you and like criticize you more than they would just the average person. And you really kind of have to be on your best behavior at all times. My example for owning a small business and a restaurant is growing up. It was just always known, like a big thing that my parents always told us was your reputation. Your reputation matters. Don't act a fool. Don't cause a scene, because the way that we act reflects on their business. And if their business does bad, we're not successful as a family. So this is a family thing. You act respectful in public and you will help this family. If you act disrespectful and you act a fool, it's going to, it's not just on you as an individual, it's also on the family. So in that way, I think that relates to social media and being a content creator and whatever, because when you are out in public, it does feel like people are kind of watching you a little bit more, like going out to the bars and stuff. Maybe I'm just like overly confident, but Tanner and I get approached a lot, like when we go out, and I love talking to everyone. We both do. It is really fun to talk to everyone and meet everyone, and it does mean so much when people come up to you and say that they love watching what you make online like that. It is so special. It is so special to like see a physical person as opposed to a comment online. So please don't take this in the wrong way, because I love talking to everyone, but there are moments when it does feel like I need to be on my best behavior and I need to be acting respectful. So in that way, I think that's kind of how the two correlate, is just your overall, like, you just got to be on your best behavior. If someone had a video of me like acting like a drunk fool at the bar, I would be so embarrassed if that got like put out on the internet. Like, oh my god, anyone would be embarrassed of that, I think. But especially when like social media is your job, like you have to return back to that the next day. But I think that's the way that the two are related. But yeah, that was a good question, and it really hit home. And I think this is where I'm going to start the Patreon cut of this podcast. Comment down below. First of all, if you've made it this far, thank you so much. That means a lot. I hope that everyone's going to enjoy the podcasts, because I have really enjoyed just sitting here and chit-chatting, and I want to like get to know so many more of you in the comment section. So please comment down below and let's chat. And also, I would love to hear what you guys think I should name the podcast. So if you have any more ideas, it could be the ones that I talked about earlier in the podcast, or a new one that you thought of or think would be fun. Comment them. And yeah. And if you're on the Patreon cut, let's get started. And thank you so much for watching. If you're not on the Patreon cut, we'll see you in the next podcast. Bye.